get to the end of the week and feel like, yes, it is finally Friday, and you shut down your computer and you go off and you have a great weekend. And then it comes to Monday morning and you sit down at your desk and you are wondering, oh my goodness, what in the world was I thinking? What are my priorities for this week? And then you end up dragging your feet Monday morning and not being sure what you're supposed to be working on, and it ends up being a mess. Well, in this video, I want to show you, talk through 4 different tips of things that I have found that work well for me for ending my work week really well. Hi, I'm Juliana McMillan-Wilhoit, if we haven't met before, and I run Tabulae Spatial Services. We are cartographers of change for both people and organizations. I do data analysis for mission-driven organizations, but I'm also really passionate about helping people live their best life and helping people who work in the geospatial and data professions leverage tools to help advance their careers. And so advancing your career is one of the things that we'll be talking about in this video today. So the 4 tips that I have are, first, taking note of what you're working on and setting your priorities for Monday. 2, documenting what you're doing. 3, cleaning up your inbox. And 4, putting everything away. So let's dive into that first one of setting your priority for Monday. Right? It's pretty easy to do, but at the end of my workday on Friday, I take out a piece of paper and I put it down on my desk and it says priorities for Monday morning. And it's pretty simple. I sort of take note of, this is what I'm working on today, and these are sort of the next steps that I need to take. Right? Especially if I'm working on a big data analysis project where I've had to get really deep into the weeds, it can be really helpful to just make that note for myself of, this is where you are in the project, these are the things that then need to happen, and just saving myself that time, and that I don't have to rely on my memory, and that especially over the weekend, I'm then not gonna have to be thinking about it. The next thing that I would recommend doing is to document what you're doing. So at the end of my work week, I actually set aside an hour of time to write documentation. I know, not super fun, but if you work in the world of anything related to data, having documentation is so important. So what I do is I use OneNote because that's what's used in my organization. You could use Evernote, you could use a Word document, you can use whatever the heck you want to use. And in that file, you are just going to take notes on what are the things that you're working on, what are some of the assumptions that go into your data. If you finished a data analysis or a visualization, just making note on how that was working, what data inputs went into it, all that stuff. I've just found that it's really easy to have that cadence of once a week. I really try and document as I go, finish things up as I go, but that doesn't always happen. And so for me, that Friday afternoon data documentation time is a really great way to help me wrap up my week and head into my weekend. The third thing that I would highly recommend that you do is to clean out your inbox. Increasingly teams are moving onto Microsoft Teams, or you're using Slack, and so maybe your inbox isn't used as much, but it's always a great idea to just go through your inbox. If you are on random emails, even if it's in your work email, where you've signed up for a webinar or something, unsubscribe from those things, but also it's really helpful if you get to inbox 0 or you're able to mark the emails that are important. And if there is an email that's important, say something from your boss's boss, maybe writing it down on that list that you've created for your priorities for Monday, so you have it right there as, this is something that I need to respond to. But you know what? One thing that I've done a few times when my inbox has just gotten really crazy is I assume that there's nothing that's super important that's in there. So I just move everything that's in there into a folder called Archive. That way I'm able to get to inbox 0 without having to go through everything. And then the last tip that I have for you is to put it away. I'm currently working from home. You may be in an office or you may be working from home, but I power down my computer. I have my notifications on my phone for Outlook so that it doesn't go off over the weekend. The same thing with Microsoft Teams. And I put it away. I think that having boundaries in your life and being able to focus on the things that matter the most to you, something that is super important. So I would definitely recommend putting your work away and allowing you to take a break. I understand that that's not always possible, but really evaluate when you think, oh no, I actually have to work the weekend. Do you actually have to work the weekend, or are you just putting that expectation on yourself? So thank you so much for watching. I would love to know what other tips that you have for how to end your week well. So again, I talk about taking notes so that you can start well on Monday, documenting what you're doing, cleaning your inbox, and then putting work away. I would love it if you liked this video and subscribed to it, or put a comment down below. Those are things that really do help me as I figure out what content to make and how to best serve this great geospatial and data community.